Hi and welcome to another edition of OnsideSA. Well, Budge, I was just speaking to you now. They've only 4 people dropped out.
Yeah, Paul, how it goes. Leicester should have gone through as well. 10 men against 10 men. Southampton should have gone through. But
so the bulk were on the good team, Tottenham. They went through comfortably. Chelsea 5, Man City 2, West Ham 2. The losers were Leicester, Leeds and Everton, those mugs. I saw you had a beautiful photo of you in the last winner.
I went to see Sean with my mate Robbie Ransaver, as we call it, Robbie Talon, who does work at Toyota. Tall man, Paul, your size.
He's a big lad. He's as I say, he's a hefty guy.
Hefty guy. A big Liverpool supporter.
Big Liverpool, eh? Well done to him. He's always concerned. He seems to get it right, eh?
Paul, he likes one team, he goes for it. And that's it. In or out.
No surname.
No surname,
No, he won the last. No one's ever won back-to-back.
No, he's going, this is his chance.
He's going strong with the last 30. Well, let's just quickly run through them. There's 30 left. Sean Matthew, the last winner, 5. Gary Faree, 3. Greg Pesci, 3. There are 2 former champions left. Vivian Woodley and George Salentis. And Sean Matthew now.
And Sean, obviously,
3, The other entrants going through, Andy Nicol, Mark Faree, Rion Diaga, Mithun Harilal, Aaron Marino, Andy Keane, Phil Georgios hanging in, Robbie Burns, Chris Giorgio,
no relation.
Gavin Wright, Mark Haddon, the chemist, Joe Soma, Group 1 Joe, the humble hero, Paul Trethaway,
Steve
Sowen Elk, the bookmaker, Robbie Talon, again, your mate, Paddy Loka and Rodney van Rensburg, Coca-Cola.
Yeah, hanging in, Paul.
So looks good. Now, this will be week 5, eh?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Paul, there's a midweek round of fixtures. I'll let everybody know this afternoon when I send their previous picks, but everyone just focus. The key is, of the 30 entries, 14 can use Liverpool this week. They're home to Southampton, but with their recent home form, bit sceptical, but
okay. Well, they're finding the gaps, but it'll get harder. Right. Let's speak to Stevie. Stevie B, on the line.
Good morning.
Morning, Steve. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
Everything under control in Blighty?
Yeah, we could do with a little bit of warmer weather though. But, I mean, wet and windy and cold here the last week or so.
Well, the first thing we've got to talk about, obviously, 2 teams from the UK going to the Champions League final, and deservedly. Yeah,
absolutely deservedly. City played well. I thought PSG started brightly, but City just, at the end of the day, thoroughly deserved. And yet again, PSG sort of lost their ill discipline cost them. They certainly lost the plot. They were very lucky. You could have had at least another player sent off towards the end. I think if that match would have carried on much longer, they would have. So, City played well, did what they had to do. Obviously, PSG, must have missed Mbappe. And once they managed to get Neymar under control, they didn't really threaten that much.
Yeah, I'm disappointed in them, Steve. But in fairness, they're a team of individuals as opposed to City, who are a team. Play for each other, well organised, where, Pochettino's on a hiding to nothing with those players.
Yeah, just Steve, what was interesting, and I heard Gary Lineker saying this, he said, when people say they're a possession team, Man City, they keep the ball, they can play route 1-2. The keeper put the left back through, a couple of great long balls just to show.
He has such a knack, Edison, and it's not like he's just done it once. He's done it a number of times and that was a fantastic ball that led to the first goal. And it's a good tactic. It's especially when they don't have they play with a false 9. They don't have a big target man. Yet they manage to those long balls work for them.
29th, Bud's the final.
29th in Istanbul.
Stevie?
That in itself is going to cause a bit of an issue because they're making tickets, a small number of tickets available for both of the clubs, but at the moment there's no guarantee that fans will be able to travel, and if they did, they'd probably certainly have to quarantine on the way back. So there's some talk about whether or not they could ask for the match to be moved to Wembley, but I suspect the UEFA won't do that, as they've made promises to the Turkish football authorities.
Should be a good game, Steve.
It's particularly a nightmare. It'll probably be better off if they didn't allow any of the UK fans to travel with everything that's going on.
Should be a good game, Steve?
Yes, what I was saying before about generally the all English games, they cancel each other out a lot. rare that you get sort of a classic all-English European final in the few that there's been. I mean, obviously the Liverpool-Tottenham game, was all over pretty much after the penalty. It just wasn't a spectacle. So I hope it is. You expect them to play their strongest teams. I don't think that the game at the weekend is really going to be a dress rehearsal, because I think there'll be a lot of changes. But it's great for English football to have two teams in the final.
Yeah, Steve, do you see it being two teams in the Europa League as well?
Probably a little bit less certain. I mean, United certainly. If United throw that away, then that would be crazy. I think Arsenal got every chance. I think that they got caught in the first half particularly, but were a bit stronger in the second, and the away goal was crucial. So I think Arsenal will go for it. I hope they go through. And that's a game I'll watch tonight. Obviously, the United game is done and dusted, so I think the Arsenal game will be quite competitive. And again, it would be good for both English teams to get through.
Yeah. Talking of United, the debacle on Saturday or Sunday, Steve, what do you make of it?
Yeah, what's the latest?
Yeah, I mean, it's very disappointing. I mean, you can understand, there's a huge amount of frustration, and you understand the right of the fans to demonstrate. But what went on? I mean, obviously, breaking through the barriers, getting into the ground. There was flares and bottles thrown inside the ground. Two policemen were injured outside. There's no place for that. And I think that doesn't do the Man United supporters, trust and fans any good. But I've heard that there's going to be more demonstrations. So, they really are upset. But, and it was very interesting, you wouldn't have seen it, but there was a Sky News reporter in Palm Beach, Florida, trying to speak to Avram Glazer. And he basically just ignored her. And she kept saying, do you have anything to say to the United fans? Do you want to apologise? And he just ignored her. There is a complete disconnect between the owners and the fans, and I think that's something that has to be addressed.
Steve, someone sent me a clip saying that the shares they lost or reduced by £52 million. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, look, it's interesting because when they announced the European Super League, all those clubs that are listed, their shares went up because obviously people were thinking about the money. But with everything that's going on, it does affect, and maybe that's something that might make the owners of these clubs who are listed take more notice when the share price starts to fall. But we're not sure what's going to happen there. I mean, fan power is fine, but ultimately, it's a majority privately owned club, and the Glazers can do what they want with it. But you'd think that they'd want to maximise the potential of that club, and the best way to do that is to keep everybody on board and start winning trophies.
That's true. Steve, talking about on board, I see Jose Mourinho has gone back to the Italian league with Roma.
Yeah, that was quick. I mean, that was it really was quick. I mean, and from the beginning of next season, so he's got an extra couple of months off. Yeah. But how that's going to pan out, I don't know. I mean, they've obviously got potential Roma. They've got serious backing, but it's you can't think he's got many more opportunities now. I mean, he's managed in Spain, managed here several times. He's now back in Italy. He's obviously just feels he's still got at least one more gig left in him.
Yeah, well, good luck to him. Steve, on to the Premiership. Obviously, there's only a few games left. Big game for Tottenham at Leeds United. Do you think they'll win?
Yeah, I think they can. You'd like to think that they'll look at their fixtures and think, look, we've got to win pretty much all of these to have a chance of catching that top four. I think it's going to be tough. Both Leicester and Chelsea are playing well, so I think it's going to be tough for them. And Leeds were very disappointing.
Yeah, they were woeful, weren't they?
Brighton. So, I think they've got to go for it. They were expected to win and win comfortably last weekend. But I think hope that they're going to sort of play with a bit more expansively and go for it. I think hopefully that will be a good game and there'll be goals.
Okay, Man City, Chelsea. I know you've mentioned Man City will rotate their side. What do you think Chelsea do, seeing they're in fourth place?
I think they'll rotate a bit as well. I don't think that necessarily Tuchel will want to put out his strongest side, because if I'm not sure that psychologically would be very good. Having said that, the need for them to win is quite critical because they're only just ahead of West Ham and Liverpool not far behind. City know that they're going to win the league. You know, they could do it this weekend, but if they didn't, they'll win it the following week.
Yeah.
I fully expect City to rotate as they did last weekend. I'd be very surprised if we see De Bruyne, Mahrez and Foden start. And for Chelsea, I don't think he'll rotate as much, but I think he might sort of switch one or two around.
Okay, so what's your call? A draw?
I think I can see Chelsea holding them, but otherwise I can't see Chelsea going there and winning. I'd be surprised.
All right.
You know, having said that, I think City would love to win and wrap up the league if they could.
The team that upset the apple cart for me last week anyway is Aston Villa. Can you see them doing the same to Man United?
Yeah, they're a very inconsistent team. It was a big win for them because that really has put paid to Everton's chance now of getting close to the top four. Again, United have got a tough game, but I think United will rest a few tonight. So, and they definitely want to keep their run going, and they want to consolidate and make sure they finish second. So, I'd be very surprised if Villa beat them, though.
Steve, I see the Liverpool United game has been rearranged for next Thursday. So they will be United playing Thursday, Sunday, Tuesday against Leicester, and Thursday against Liverpool.
I think that's, and they're big games because there's no love loss. United aren't going to want to put out a weak team against Liverpool. They don't like losing to them. On the other hand, they don't want Leicester to catch them. So, they've got a strong squad. If they avoid injuries, they will have to rotate. I think they will rotate tonight. They'll keep a few big players on the bench, but I think that they'll rotate a bit tonight to keep a bit in.
And you think they'll be too strong for Aston Villa?
I think they will be. Just because. But then, Villa showed. I thought Villa played very well at Everton.
Yeah, they did.
They haven't been. Their results have been sort of very average in recent weeks.
You can't use very in front of average.
Here's your English professor, Steve.
Can when it's Fulham, though.
It can when it's Fulham.
Yeah. All right. Steve, talking of Everton, they travelled to West Ham, who I thought played great against Burnley on Monday night. How do you see that game?
Yeah, I think West Ham have just got to go for it.
Yeah.
They've got on paper, West Ham have got winnable games. They don't play any of the big teams. I think now they've got Mikel Antonio back. I mean, he's such a, he's been a revelation the last couple of seasons. For a player who's played in non-league for a while, I think they will be too strong for Everton. But then, as we know, Everton are stronger away than they are at home. But I think this is a game for West Ham win this. I think they'll feel that they really have got half a chance to catch Chelsea.
Yeah, you can see the spark about them with Mikel Antonio. Just the way he moves, hold it up, playing. I was really impressed. And last but not least, Steve, your boys Fulham. Can they win a game for a change at home?
Well, I mean, the thing is, if we don't win, we could be relegated this weekend. So I think they've got no choice but to go for it. But Burnley, last time out away from home, absolutely annihilated Wolves, 4-0. Chris Wood's a handful. I'm not sure. I mean, we played at Burnley when we were having a sort of.
You played well,
and we were the better team. But I just think that the pressure's on now, and we've just dropped too many points. And even if we won a couple of games, it's not enough. So I'd love us to win, but I wouldn't be at all surprised if we didn't. And I think it could if the results go against us, we could be relegated by Monday night.
No, let's hope you aren't. But I just think 3 goals at home in your last was at 10 home games. That's not good enough.
Yeah, it's not. It isn't good enough. Yeah. And Burnley are a big physical side, and I think they're going to make it very hard for us.
All right, Steve. On to the Championship. Some great games, especially at the bottom of the league. The big one, obviously, Wayne Rooney's Derby County at home against Sheffield Wednesday. Is it right that if they get beat, they're gone?
Yes, it is. So,
who get beat? Sheffield.
So if Derby win, they're safe.
Yeah.
If Derby draw, it relegates Sheffield Wednesday, but Rotherham could still stay up if they win at Cardiff.
Correct. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
A home win for Derby, they're definitely safe. If Derby match Rotherham, then they're safe.
Yeah.
Sheffield Wednesday have to win and hope that Rotherham don't win. So
yes.
It's 2 from 3. Wickham mathematically.
No, they're gone. Yeah.
They're gone, even though they could get the same points as Derby, but their goal difference is so much worse, which shows how well Wickham have done in recent weeks, that they've clawed this huge deficit back, but just the games have run out. So I fancy Sheffield Wednesday to go there and get a result, and then it's in the lap of the gods as to what Rotherham do at Cardiff. Rotherham have been very unfortunate.
Yeah.
They just can't seem to win a game. They've lost a number by 1 goal, or they've drawn. They probably should have won at Luton the other night, which would have put them above them. So I think Wayne Rooney knows what he's got to do. That's very simple. Win and you stay up.
Okay. So you fancy Sheffield Wednesday, Rotherham?
I fancy Sheffield Wednesday. Okay. I just think that they're a slightly stronger team. They weren't great last weekend. They probably had a couple of chances.
Yeah, I backed them. Yeah, against Forest.
But you're just going to wonder whether Derby have had a shocking run, and whether or not they can turn it around in this last game. But they could be fortunate. They could. They might just. A point would be enough for them, I suspect.
Okay. Surely Derby would be too good for Rotherham, even though they've got nothing to play for.
Derby.
Yeah, you'd expect Cardiff to be too strong, and therefore, both. So I think Rotherham needed to win that game the other night.
Yes.
Rotherham have to win, but and hope that Derby don't. So but they'll go for it. Rotherham have got nothing to lose. They know they have to win. The same as the others. So it makes it very, those are the games in the Championship you want to see this weekend. There's nothing happening at the top.
Yeah, I think that'll be highlighted. Now, Barnsley host Norwich City, the league champions. I can't believe the price on Norwich. Do you think he'll have a go, Daniel Farke, and play his best side?
Well, look, I mean, they've got a chance, I think, of going for record points for them. So, they had a good win the last week at home. They might want to go out on a high. Barnsley, on the other hand,
struggled lately.
It's all about jostling for that position, but I can't see them finishing much higher than they are. I mean, they're not going to finish above Brentford now, so no. I wouldn't be surprised maybe if Barnsley rest 1 or 2 and Norwich win it.
Okay. Now Reading home against Huddersfield. How do you see that going? Yeah,
I mean, again, nothing much to play for. Reading sort of fell away at the end. Huddersfield have been so inconsistent. When we bet against them a couple of times and they've caught us out. I think Reading would want to finish on a high, so I'd be surprised if they didn't win that.
Okay, finishing on a high. Watford have won the last 8 at home. Do you think they'll do that against Swansea?
Yeah, I mean, Swansea, surprisingly, they rested a few last week, even though they beat Derby. I wouldn't be surprised if they rest a few again. So, I think Watford will go out on a high.
Okay, Steve, pressure time again. Your best bet and your best value bet, please.
Yeah, I'm going to go for QPR as my best bet.
Yeah, I thought
they've had a very strong run. Weren't challenging for the playoffs at the end, but they've had a very good run. Had a good win at Stoke last week, and I think they'll be too strong. And my value bet, I actually, as much as I hate to bet against, I think Burnley a good value at 24 to 10.
Yeah. Totally agree, Steve.
Stevie, you little beauty. Thanks very, very much.
Steve, thanks very much, Steve.
Talk soon. Stay well,
Bye.
Steve.
All the best.
Cheers. Bye.
Bye-bye. All right, buds, let's go on to Premier League fixtures. They start Friday evening.
Yes.
Leicester, Newcastle.
Paul, Leicester
have to win,
got to win. Paul, I'm disappointed. I thought Newcastle would play well against Arsenal, but they're never in the game. I know Arsenal did play well. Paul, Leicester want to get a top 4 place. They've got to win this. I think they'll win the season.
Are Newcastle safe?
Yeah.
So the bottom 3 are gone?
Well, it depends. I think Brighton or Burnley are the closest. Newcastle is safe. The way Fulham have got to win their last few, and that's not happening. So, but Leicester for me, Paul.
Leeds Tottenham be a tough game.
Paul, I was impressed with that. I saw Tottenham. Just the spirit came back. Yeah, the only thing is that Leeds United, they've got a million guys run with their heads chopped off. Now that may upset Spurs, but if you can remember the first game, they gave the ball away and Spurs went bang, bang in the first 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I think Spurs, Paul, I was impressed with what I saw last week.
Maybe they're getting, as you say, a bit of spirit back.
Got to play Bale. I know he may not be the fittest, but you know what? You've got so many good players. Play them.
Yeah. But Bale's Song and Kane is a formidable attack, and you've got Moura to back it up, and you've got other people.
Play your best players, Paul.
Play your best players, and there are games to go. Still, I'm not sure about the midfield.
No, neither am I, Paul.
I don't know. Ndombele should come back, and Lo Celso he's lightweight.
Yeah.
But listen, they might.
Leeds want to play. It's a great chance. Paul, I was really impressed. I know it was only Sheffield United, but I was impressed with what I saw. It's just a lunchtime kickoff, Paul. I'm always a little bit sceptical about that, but I think Spurs. I think there'll be goals in that game, Paul. But got a fancy Spurs.
Sheffield United, Palace. So Palace just languished in the middle, eh?
Paul, they try hard, Paul. I think this is a type of game they win. I can't believe they're 15-10, Paul.
Okay.
Sheffield United. Yeah, they did try against Spurs, but once the first one went in, the heads dropped. They can't play, Paul. End of the season.
They're not attacking enough.
don't score many goals. I think 15-10 Palace is a good thing, Paul.
Man City, Chelsea, 1 plays 2. Interesting game, and they both got a lot of pride. They're both top teams. It might be something that they can use going into the championship final on the 29th. They might say, "Listen, we beat you the other day." And but I agree, they're going to freshen their squad.
Well, bigger game for Chelsea because they fourth. If they get beaten, West Ham win. They tie.
Yeah.
And then Liverpool, everybody comes into the mix. Man City, Paul. Chelsea, I think may have their number. Watch the FA Cup. They set tight. When De Bruyne plays and you've got Kante, he neutralises them. So I like Chelsea of the two teams. He's a top player, Paul. Yeah.
I just think they've got a few De Bruynes. They've got people who can play in the middle.
Sure.
Yeah, I agree with Steve that I can see them taking Mahrez, Foden, and De Bruyne.
He knows his main cup final team, Paul.
But the guys who come in.
Yeah. No, Torres. They've got players, Paul.
Sterling, Torres. They've got players.
But so with Chelsea.
Yes,
well, listen, for me, if I was having a bet, it would be the draw.
It would be the draw for me
But Chelsea have got to go for it. You look
yeah.
who's Chelsea are on the bench. They've got players, Paul. Should be a good game.
Southampton are 8-1 and rightly so.
Paul,
they haven't been at the races.
Paul, they've lost, I think it's 12 of the last 16 league games. But Liverpool at home, Paul. 1-1, drawn 1, lost 6.
Yeah.
But the pressure's on. They've had,
so they should win, though.
Paul, they should win, Paul.
Wolves have had a wishy-washy season.
I don't like Wolves, Paul.
Brighton have to win.
Yeah.
There's a possibility they could go.
They're just a team that keep the ball. This could have 0-0 written all over it because they're both similar style teams, possession-based teams. Haven't been impressed with Wolves, Paul. Even against West Brom, we're struggling. I thought they'd have gone in and won it. They got a little bit of a poxy goal, the first one.
Yeah.
Brighton, Paul, woeful against Sheffield United. Played great against Leeds. You don't know what you're going to get. Paul, of the two teams, you'd have to go for Brighton. I just can't have Wolves. I think they're woeful.
I like United. I know Villa, a team that can upset the apple cart, but United have a lot of quality.
A lot of quality, Paul, especially in the second half. We always seem to...
With Pogba firing, Bruno Fernandes firing, and the people around them working that hard, it's a good side. I'm still... Rashford still isn't scoring enough.
No, he's injured, Paul.
Yeah, but the games he played, because other guys getting 10 minutes and grabbing a goal.
Greenwood's our best finisher in the club, Paul.
Yeah, I would agree with that. So, but
Paul, it depends on the team tonight. I think he will rotate. He give Daniel James and a lot of guys a game because United play 4 games in 7 days.
Yeah, I'm on United. West Ham, Everton, I've predicted a draw because Everton, you don't want to go loss.
Paul, they're not a good team. Paul, I backed them last week against Villa. I thought they would beat Villa. They got murdered.
Yeah.
But what I saw from West Ham, Paul, I don't think, shouldn't say this because I've got a couple of West Ham mates, but 13-10, I don't think he'll last, Paul. Mikel Antonio, as long as he stays fit, they look a happy team. Top player, Paul. The left back coming back's helped. Well, I think West Ham will beat them,
Okay, fair enough. He's done a good job there, Moyes.
Yeah, great job.
Arsenal too strong for West Brom?
Should be, Paul. They played, they rotate. I think they made 8 changes against Newcastle and gave them a football lesson.
Yeah.
If they get through to the final, Paul, you'll see what happened. All those guys that are on the edge, they're going to try and perform to get in the team for the final.
Yeah.
Can't have West Brom, Paul. Last chance. I think there'll be goals in it, but... Arsenal should be good.
Fulham, Burnley, anything can happen?
No, I like Burnley, Paul. I think they're betting the wrong way around. They've played well the last few games, Paul. I know you don't like them, but they murdered Burnley. Sure. They played well against West Ham.
Yeah, they were good. Yeah.
They've improved lately. Fulham can't score at home, Paul. 3 goals goals in 10 games. I know Steve's be choking if they are, but they are going down. 24-10, Paul. I agree.
Okay, then let's look at the Championship.
Sure, big weekend ahead, Paul.
Bournemouth, Stoke?
Paul... Stoke were terrible. I think away from home they've only won 1 all year. It should be Bournemouth, but the playoffs start next Monday. What are they going to do? He may rest a few players and freshen it up. I don't see Bournemouth getting beat, Paul, but Stoke City are woeful away from home. So it should be Bournemouth, but I'm always sceptical when teams got nothing to play for.
Barnsley are just about the same odds as Norwich.
I can't believe it, Paul. Barnsley have been woeful. Preston beat them. They seem to have fallen away, even though they are in the playoffs. What are they going to do? I think Norwich, Paul, last game, 16-10. I don't know what the bookmakers know, but I've had a nibble on that. I think that's a great price, Norwich.
Blackburn, even money, Birmingham City.
Paul, they've come right, Blackburn. They sneaked in. So they drew 1-1 with Rotherham last week. Birmingham City, since Lee Boyer's gone there, they've only lost 1 in 7. I think there'll be goals in that game, Paul. 5-2 the draw looks a fair bet.
Bristol City, Brentford.
Paul, Nigel Pearson, the Leicester man, went there. They've been shocking.
Gee, they've struggled with them, eh?
At home, Paul, they've taken 1 point from the last 9. Brentford should cruise in unless they make a whole lot of changes.
Yeah.
But it should be 7-10 Brentford all day, Paul. But I'm sceptical about the last game.
Cardiff City, Rotherham.
Yeah, I think Cardiff City, Paul. I like them. Yeah,
Is
Rotherham.
this the last game of the championship?
Last game of the championship. Yeah.
Okay.
You know, I watched quite a bit of Rotherham against Luton, and Luton aren't the best of sides, but it was end to end. They just can't score, Rotherham. And Cardiff, yeah, they rested a few at Coventry last week.
Rotherham have to win.
Got to win, Paul. But they've been saying that for a while. They're just not up to it.
If Cardiff, they don't win, they're gone.
They're gone. Yeah. If Cardiff play their full team, Paul. Comfortable victory.
Coventry City, Millwall.
Paul, goals in that. You know, I went for Millwall last week, 4-2. Coventry were woeful. Both teams to score. Paul, I saw 9-10. That's my play in that game. Could go either way. Derby
have to win because they can't worry about what Rotherham are doing.
That's the problem, Paul. They were on the other night against Birmingham. I went for them. I thought they would win. Went 1-0 up. Stage fright, Paul. Yeah. Sheffield Wednesday, nothing to lose. Got some good strikers in the team.
Yeah.
And you just don't know. It's a precious situation.
Yeah.
The game will be on. I'll watch it, but I won't have a bet in it. I think Middlesbrough are good things, Paul.
Okay.
You know, look at Neil Warnock. Wickham are gone. They can't get out. They've come right lately. There'll be goals in it, Paul, but I fancy Middlesbrough 8-10. Good things.
All right. How about
Notts Forest, Preston. Yeah. My boys, Preston, since we got rid of the manager, we've only lost one. But Notts Forest, Paul, you just don't know. That's at home. They've been struggling at home. I think the draw 23-10 is written all over it.
Okay, QPR Luton.
Well, local derby. I agree with Steve. It should be QPR. 11-10. Agree.
Okay.
Reading's my best bet of the weekend, Paul.
Best bet. Why?
Paul, at home, 1-3, drawn 3. They've played decent teams at home of late. They've drawn 6-10. They're out of it. You want to end the season on a high, especially at home. Huddersfield are woeful. I know they've caught me a few times, Paul, but I've watched Reading. They're a far better team than Huddersfield. It's difficult in the championship. It should be Reading.
Watford, Swansea?
Should be, Paul. If they play their best team, 8 home wins in a row, why get promotion with a bad result against Swansea? You never know what Swansea are going to do. I think they'll rest players for the playoffs. I think Watford, good things.
All right, but let's go and look at our PSL results in the week.
Paul.
TTM beat Chiefs. Chiefs at Clare sent
Paul,
off.
our back Chiefs, terrible. Gavin should have fined the guy a month's wages.
Is that right?
With terrible tackle for the first one. The second one, the little guy got in front of him. He just grabbed him. You knew second. The ref looked like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
They got back to 1-1 last minute penalty, 2-1 TTM.
Was it
result.
a peanut in your book?
Yeah, touch and go.
Touch
you never know.
Eh?
There's no VAR, so what can you do?
Sundowns too good for Maritzburg.
Paul, Maritzburg were competitive, but Sundowns a good team, Paul. 2-0, comfortable.
Right, let's go run through the standings with you, Budge.
Yeah.
Sundowns, only 2 teams go in the league, Sundowns and Amazulu. Now, Amazulu are 4 points behind and they played an extra game, so it's
tough call, Paul.
Tough call. Then Arrows and Swallows have had good seasons. At the bottom, Black Leopards, 18 points.
They play Orlando Pirates tonight away from home. So if they don't get a result there, I think they're in serious trouble.
And Chipper on 24 points.
Chipper beat Chiefs their last game.
What is the ruling here? The bottom one's immediately
bottom one's automatic. Second last one goes into the playoff with second and third in the first division.
Okay, so it could be 2 down here.
Yeah.
So Chipper got to worry. TTM only got a point extra than them, but they played a game less than Chipper.
And strangely, they play in the Nedbank Cup final on Saturday.
Here we go. Let's talk about the Nedbank Cup final. But TTM are up against Chipper United.
Yeah, no. Strangely, they've moved the game to Bloemfontein. That's where the final is.
Why is it strange?
Well, because TTM are they're Northern Province, and obviously Chipper are PE. So why have it in Joburg in a 90,000 stadium where, maybe I don't know, Nedbank.
Did you want to allow it in?
No.
So TTM in the final, and they're joint favourites.
Yeah.
Interesting game?
Paul, it will be. I'll obviously watch it. The Chippers' last 5 games, I saw them beat Chiefs. They've only conceded 1 goal. TTM played well against Chiefs. I've asked a few guys that really specialise in the PSL. They've all told me TTM. Of the 2 teams, I like Chipper. But 19-10, the draw would be the right way. Paul, when you have a look who TTM have knocked out to get there. They knocked out Supersport, Sundowns, and Swallows.
Other team knocked out Cape Town City, Pretoria,
that was on penalties,
and Richards Bay.
Richards Bay, but Richards Bay knocked out Chiefs, so it'll be a tight game, Paul. I hope there's an early goal so it opens up. But
Okay.
you know what happens in cup finals. Everyone plays safe.
Okay, Budge, let's see how we're going with the soccer sixes first
Yeah,
of all.
Paul, we kick off with the Gold Circle one. You know, I'm chancing your boys Tottenham. As I said, I like what I've seen lately.
Yeah.
I think they'll beat Leeds. I'm throwing the draw in with Watford. You just never know what's going to happen with their team selection. So I've got Watford win and draw at home against Swansea. I'm banking Crystal Palace to win at Sheffield United. The big game in Spain this weekend's top. I think it's Atletico Madrid top against Barcelona third. Both teams are woeful. I'm going the field there. And likewise, I don't know what's going to happen with the team selection, Man City, Chelsea. So I've gone the field there. Liverpool should be bankers, Paul, but I'm going for the upset. I've thrown the draw in with Southampton 2-1-6. On to the Pumalela Soccer 6. I'm going Real Kings in a tough game against TS Sporting, second against third. I watched Udinese lose to Juventus last week where Ronaldo scored 2 in the last 10. I think they'll be too good for Bologna. Borussia Dortmund in a key game against Leipzig for a Champions League spot. I've gone Dortmund, win and draw against RB Leipzig, who are second. I'm going for Crystal Palace. That's my main play of the weekend to win at Sheffield United. I'm going the field in the Barcelona, Atletico Madrid and Man City, Chelsea fixtures 2-1-6.
Okay.
On to the Gold Circle 10. I'm banking Tottenham to beat Leeds. Chancing Norwich City to be too good for Barnsley. I'm going Brentford win and draw at Bristol City. I'm banking Watford to beat Swansea City. I'm going the field in the Dortmund RB Leipzig game. Onto the second page, I'm banking Crystal Palace to beat Sheffield United. I'm going the field in the Barcelona, Atletico Madrid and Man City Chelsea matches. I'm banking Bayern Munich to be too good for Borussia Mönchengladbach and throwing the draw and looking for the upset. Liverpool in the draw 2-1-6.
Okie dokie, on we go.
Yeah,
Budge.
onto the Soccer 13, which has been reduced, Paul. It was R2 a line. I think it's now R1.80. So,
what would that be? What's the
well, I think
10%?
all safe, yeah, but at least you can take some, you can add another team in, you can throw a draw to try and help out. So,
10%? Come on, boys.
well, Paul, something's better than nothing. It's,
I don't know.
But anyway, the Soccer 13, it's Man City win and draw against Chelsea. I'm banking Liverpool to beat Southampton, Crystal Palace to beat Sheffield United. The Swedish League started again, so it's Kalmar win and draw at Elfsborg, Halmstad win and draw at Örebro. I'm going Barcelona win and draw at home against Atletico Madrid. Athletic Bilbao, who cost me on Monday, win and draw at home against Osasuna. Our second page, I'm banking Cadiz to beat Huesca. I'm going Lazio win and draw at Fiorentina. Olympique Lyonnais to beat Lorient. Bayern Munich to be too strong for Borussia Mönchengladbach. I'm going for Hibs to be too good for Dundee United in the Scottish Cup. And the big game in Turkey, I'm going league leaders Galatasaray win and draw at league leaders Besiktas to avoid defeat at Galatasaray 2-31.
All right, Budge, best bets.
Yeah, on to the bet, Paul. Premiership treble, I'm going Leicester to beat Newcastle by more than 1 goal. I fancy Crystal Palace to be too strong for Sheffield United. And I'm glad to hear Steve sides with me at Burnley to be too strong for his beloved Fulham.
You're using him as a reference.
Just in case I get feedback.
Yeah.
16.5 to 1, 3,300 to 200. In the Championship, I'm going Cardiff to beat Rotherham. I think Middlesbrough will be too strong for Wickham. I fancy Norwich at a good price to beat Barnsley. And my best for the weekend, Reading to beat Huddersfield. 20 to 1, 4,000 to 200. Over 2.5 goals. I went that way because there was no PSL games by the Nedbank Cup final. I'm going over 2.5 goals in the Leicester Newcastle, Leeds Tottenham, Liverpool Southampton, Arsenal West Brom and Middlesbrough Wickham. 11 to 1, 2,200 to 200. My both teams to score side to keep you happy. I'm going Leeds Tottenham, Man City Chelsea, West Ham Everton, Blackburn Birmingham City and Coventry Millwall. 3,300 to 200.
Okay.
And our team goals only, I'm going Leicester, Tottenham and Crystal Palace, all to score over 1.5 goals or a minimum of 2. And Burnley were 5 to 10 just to score against Fulham.
Okay.
So I threw that one in 2,200. And our Collis King, 6 on Exa. I'm going Leicester City to beat Newcastle, Crystal Palace to beat Sheffield United, Arsenal to beat West Brom, Middlesbrough to beat Wickham, Reading to beat Huddersfield and Bayern Munich to beat Borussia Mönchengladbach. 25 to 1, Paul. On we go.
Excellent, Budge. Fantastic. That's good news. It looks interesting. Football is climaxing now, especially with the Championship. Poor old Wayne Rooney must be on tender.
Well, Paul, this is what you get paid for.
Yeah, that's right. That's what you get paid for. And he doesn't need a pound.
No doubt.
But Let's talk about last one standing. There's 30 of you who've gone through, but as you said, 14 can use Liverpool. I think a few will be on Crystal Palace.
Nah, no chance.
You don't think?
No.
Let's have a look.
After Sheffield United beat Brighton, with several guys were on that theory. Didn't work out.
Okay. All right. Until next time, stay on side.